This is John from the University Skills Academy, and today we're going to be discussing taking tests, what to do on the day before the test, and actually in the exam itself, and strategies on how to get the most marks out of that exam. There's basically three strategies. The first prerequisite is that you've got to study. So firstly, read the directions, preview the whole test, as in the number of questions and the type of questions, and then calculate the amount of time required for each section, that is time per mark, and allocate your time accordingly. It also helps as a secondary guide to have a time per section. But how do we do this? Well, in simple terms, say there's 50 questions, there'll be 30 multiple choice, 10 true false and 10 match the words, so you need to split the time, split between the marks. Now each one of those would be worth a mark each or 2 marks each, that sort of a format. Taking tests, this won't fix everything because every test and every candidate is slightly different, but in general terms these things will help you. Firstly, study. Secondly, if your first attempt at studying for an exam is on the morning of the test, then it's probably too late. But if you are studying correctly, relaxing on the morning of the test, and save your concentration and your efforts for the test, it's probably a good way to go. There are exceptions in that if it's an afternoon or evening exam, do some light review work in the morning, not cramming, but just some light review. Secondly, and only if you've not finished all of your reading before you go to bed the night before, it's likely worthwhile reading the remainder of the exam content, sort of stuff that they're going to be questioning you. Complete your reading. Have your writing material packed the night before. Turn up early for the test, but not really early, 5 to 15 minutes, and relax and breathe. Make time for a bathroom break, especially if it's a longer exam, and be advised that they may not let you in if you are late. Use the whole time of the exam. Do not walk out early. Those who leave early tend to not know enough to answer all of the questions. If it's an open book exam, that doesn't mean to say it's easy, and you'll need to have your book flag tags on it, that is some sort of easy page turner at various key points of the book, the chapter breaks and that sort of thing. Before the exam, sit alone by yourself. I mean, normally it's good to be sociable, but on this occasion be antisocial in a limited sort of way, and just gather your thoughts and use your time. When you actually get into the exam, you don't have to answer the first question first. Pick the questions that are the easiest or the sections that are the easiest and knock those over first. In the first 5 minutes, read the whole paper. It's very important because it allows, and if you start strong on the easy stuff, it helps you relax, get on with the work. It's a really good way of eliminating any sort of doubt. So divide your time against the marks question. Watch your time throughout the test. A diver's watch with a one-way bezel is a really good tool if you own such a thing. Let's look at the multiple guess methods. Divide your time against the questions. Okay, our timing is pretty critical here. So if you've got 50 questions, read the questions without the choices visible. I'll say again, read the questions without the choices visible. Then answer the question silently in your head. Review the answers, and where the answer you just thought of is there, hey presto, that's going to be the correct one. If the answer is not revealed, look at the next questions. Cover the answers with your hands, read the question, answer the question before you reveal the answer. Where the answer is there, select it. When it's not, move to the next question. Where the answer you thought of is not there, think whether you think it's a challenge to figure it out or if it's just impossible. On those two things, skip it. Okay, so if it's easy, answer it. If it's not there, skip it. If it's a challenge, skip it. If you think it might be impossible, skip it. It's all okay. Don't panic. Now, I'm saying at this point don't panic because you might go through half the paper before you strike one that's actually easy, and then all of a sudden the rest of the paper might be easy. So you've warmed up your brain, you're getting the answers out, and when you come back to the challenges, hey presto, the second time you read it, they may no longer be a challenge, they may be easy, and this really pays dividends. Trick is don't panic. Now, and the reason why it is because you've walked away from the problem for a short period of time. The brain is ticking it over in the background even though you're doing other stuff, and when you come back to it, it's kind of like warming up for a sports event. Then come back having answered all the easy ones, come back and hit your challenge questions. When you've answered all the challenge, finish your last questions, which were the impossible ones. Now this is how it might actually work out. With 20 easy questions out of 50, there may be 27 that are a challenge. Okay, that gives you 97% if you get them all the challenges and all the easy ones right. So instead of just 20 easy, which is 40% done, you've gone up to 97% because you didn't panic and you didn't necessarily answer all the questions in order that they were written in the test. Okay, let's think about how these tests are put together. Multiple guess, as I like to call them, questions are written this way. There will either be one correct answer and one clearly incorrect answer. Then if it's ABCD, there are two questions that are very close but are in some way, shape or form incorrect. There's some wording in there that makes them incorrect. Now, the incorrect answers are either decoys or distractions to decoy you from the correct answer and distract you from the correct answer because they're so close to being right. Or it's possible that all of the answers are correct, and I'll give you an option, all of the above. This is where this technique comes in very nicely. If you read the question, don't show the answers, think of the correct answer, and hey presto, the correct answer stands out at you. It makes the selection process fairly simple. More test taking stuff. Make a point of not answering the incorrect question. What am I talking about here? Where you have a question sheet and a separate answer sheet and you're not answering the questions in order, use a ruler or two hands or something so that you actually match up your answer to the answer on the answering part on the answer sheet that matches the question you are marking the answer for. There is a genuine risk of you getting the answer correct in your head and marking it down against the wrong one on the answer sheet, which is what they will mark you against. You need to really check this if you've skipped the first half of the paper to move on. Remember, don't panic. It's just your brain warming up like a sports event. Use this technique and you'll get there. So what have we looked at so far? We've talked about getting there early. 5-15 minutes tops. Relax, focus on the test. A lot of time per mark. Answer the easy questions to get the brain warmed up. Then answer the challenging questions. And don't panic if it seems that there's a very small number of easy questions. Okay? That'll change. Manage the emotions, allowing your brain to warm up. So out of this, what are the two things that you aren't already doing that you could do immediately? Have a think about that. This has been John from the University Skills Academy, and you'll see me in the next session.